In the middle of the 1970s, television brought audiences back to a simpler American dream. A jukebox, a leather jacket, a family dinner table, and a small drive-in where friendship, laughter, and growing up all seemed to happen under warm lights. That show was Happy Days. First released in 1974, it became one of the most beloved sitcoms of its generation. It was funny, it was sweet, and it gave viewers characters who felt like old friends. Some made us laugh, some reminded us of family, and one became a television icon with just a smile, a thumbs up, and one unforgettable word. Hey! More than 50 years later, the cast of Happy Days has changed in many ways. Some became Hollywood legends, some found quieter lives, and some are sadly no longer with us. Today, we look back at the most loved faces from Happy Days, how they looked then, how they changed, and where life has taken them today. Let's begin. Arthur Fonzie was the coolest face of Happy Days. He was confident, loyal, and almost impossible to ignore. Fonzie did not need many words to own a scene. A look, a snap, a leather jacket, and suddenly everyone knew who was in control. At first, he seemed like the tough guy standing outside the clean world of the Cunningham family. But over time, viewers saw something deeper. Fonzie was not only cool, he was protective, he was generous, and beneath the attitude, he had a heart that cared more than he wanted people to know. He gave the series its energy, its style, and its most unforgettable symbol of cool. Henry Winkler was born on October 30th, 1945 in New York City. Before becoming a television icon, he studied acting seriously and trained at the Yale School of Drama. When Happy Days became a hit, Winkler's life changed forever. Fonzie turned him into one of the most recognizable stars on American television. But Winkler did not let one role define the rest of his life. Audiences later saw him in works such as Night Shift in 1982, The Water Boy in 1998, Arrested Development from 2003 to 2019, and Barry from 2018 to 2023. His performance in Barry won him a Primetime Emmy Award. Outside acting, Winkler also became an author, producer, and director. He has spoken openly about dyslexia, turning a personal struggle into a way to encourage children and adults who learn differently. In his personal life, he has been married to Stacy Weitzman since 1978. They have built a long family life together, and Winkler is also a father and grandfather. Today, Henry Winkler is no longer remembered only as the man behind the leather jacket. He is remembered as a warm, generous performer who turned television coolness into something deeply human. Richie Cunningham was the honest heart of Happy Days. He was kind, curious, and trying to understand the world one mistake at a time. Richie was not the coolest boy in town. He was not the toughest, but that was exactly why viewers loved him. He felt real. He wanted to do the right thing, even when he did not always know what the right thing was. Through Richie, the series showed school, dating, family, friendship, and the small, awkward moments of growing up. He gave Happy Days its innocence, its warmth, and its sense of coming of age. While Fonzie brought the cool, Richie brought the heart. Ron Howard was born on March 1st, 1954, in Duncan, Oklahoma. He entered show business as a child and grew up in front of American audiences. Before Happy Days, many viewers already knew him from The Andy Griffith Show, which ran from 1960 to 1968. He later appeared in memorable works such as American Graffiti in 1973, Apollo 13 in 1995, A Beautiful Mind in 2001, and Solo, a Star Wars story in 2018. After leaving Happy Days, Howard became one of Hollywood's most respected directors. His work behind the camera proved that his talent was not limited to being a familiar young actor. He directed dramas, comedies, historical stories, and large-scale films with emotional precision. His film, A Beautiful Mind, won the Academy Award for Best Picture, and Howard won Best Director. In his personal life, Ron Howard married Cheryl Alley in 1975. They have 4 children, including actress and director Bryce Dallas Howard. Today, Ron Howard stands as one of the rare child stars who successfully built a second life in Hollywood. He moved from the front of the camera to the director's chair without losing the warmth that made audiences trust him in the first place. Joni Cunningham was the little sister who grew up in front of the audience. She was playful, sweet, and stronger than people first expected. At the beginning, Joni often felt like the younger voice inside the Cunningham home. She teased Richie, she watched the older kids, and she slowly learned what it meant to have her own feelings, choices, and dreams. As the series continued, Joni became more than a child in the background. She became a young woman with her own love story, her own frustrations, and her own desire to be taken seriously. Her relationship with Chachi became one of the show's most remembered romances. Joni gave Happy Days innocence, emotion, and the feeling of watching someone grow up year by year. Erin Moran was born on October 18, 1960, in Burbank, California. She began acting as a child and entered television at a very young age. Before and during her time as Joni, she appeared in projects such as Doctari from 1968 to 1969, The Don Rickles Show in 1972, Galaxy of Terror in 1981, and Joni Loves Chachi from 1982 to 1983. For many viewers, Moran was not just playing a younger sister. She was part of their television childhood. Her smile, timing, and natural teenage energy made Joni feel familiar and easy to love. But life after the series was not always easy. Moran faced personal struggles, career difficulties, and years away from the bright center of Hollywood attention. In her personal life, she married Stephen Fleischman in 1993. Sadly, Erin Moran passed away in 2017 at the age of 56. Her death brought sadness to many fans who remembered her as the young girl they watched grow up on screen. Today, she is remembered with a mix of warmth and sorrow, a beloved face from a happier television time whose story ended far too soon. Marion Cunningham was the warm heart of the Cunningham family. She was gentle, caring, and stronger than she first appeared. Marion was not only the mother who kept the house together, she was the person who made the home feel safe. She listened when others were confused. She smiled when the family needed comfort, and she often understood more than people said out loud. Her kindness did not make her weak. It made her steady. Even Fonzie, who tried so hard to look untouchable, found warmth and acceptance in her home. Marion gave Happy Days its family soul, its softness, and the feeling that love could live inside ordinary daily moments. Marion Ross was born on October 25, 1928, in Watertown, Minnesota. Long before Happy Days, she had already built years of experience in film and television. Audiences saw her in works such as The Glenn Miller Story in 1954, Sabrina in 1954, Operation Petticoat in 1959, and Brooklyn Bridge from 1991 to 1993. But it was her role as Marion Cunningham that made her one of television's most beloved mothers. Ross brought warmth to the screen without making the character feel flat or simple. She gave Marion humor, patience, and quiet emotional intelligence. Over the years, she also became known for voice acting and guest appearances on many television shows. Her later work included a long voice role as Grandma SquarePants in SpongeBob SquarePants. In her personal life, Marion Ross was married to Freeman Meskimen until their divorce. They had 2 children, including actor Jim Meskimen. Today, Marion Ross is retired from regular acting, but her image remains deeply loved. For many viewers, she represents a kind of television mother who felt kind, safe, and truly unforgettable. Howard Cunningham was the steady father of Happy Days. He was practical, fair, and often funnier than he meant to be. Howard ran his hardware store, looked after his family, and tried to guide his children through a changing world. He was not perfect. Sometimes he was strict. Sometimes he was confused by the younger generation. But he usually came from a place of love. Howard gave the series a sense of order. He was the father at the dinner table, the voice of reason, and the man who helped make the Cunningham home feel real. Through him, Happy Days showed that family strength does not always come from big speeches. Sometimes it comes from showing up every day. Tom Bosley was born on October 1st, 1927 in Chicago, Illinois. Before becoming one of television's most familiar fathers, he built a strong career on stage, film, and television. Audiences remember him from works such as Fiorello in 1959, Yours, Mine, and Ours in 1968, Murder, She Wrote from 1984 to 1988, and Father Dowling Mysteries from 1989 to 1991. His performance in Fiorello won him a Tony Award. Bosley had a warm and grounded presence that made him feel instantly believable. He could be funny, serious, gentle, and firm without ever making the character feel false. For many viewers, he became the image of the dependable television father. In his personal life, Bosley was first married to Jean Elliott. After her passing, he married Patricia Carr. He had one daughter, Amy. Tom Bosley passed away in 2010 at the age of 83. His death saddened many fans who had grown up with his calm voice and fatherly warmth. Today, he is remembered as an actor who made ordinary family moments feel meaningful. He did not need to be loud to become unforgettable. Chachi Arcola brought a younger spark to Happy Days. He was charming, romantic, and full of teenage confidence. Chachi entered the show with a different kind of energy. He was younger than Fonzie, but carried some of that same cool attitude. He wanted to be noticed. He wanted to be loved, and he often believed he was smoother than he really was. His love story with Joni became one of the most remembered parts of the later seasons. Chachi gave the series youth, music, and a softer kind of romance. He reminded viewers that growing up often means trying to look confident while still learning who you really are. Scott Baio was born on September 22nd, 1960, in New York City. He began acting as a teenager and quickly became a familiar young face on television and film. Audiences remember him from projects such as Bugsy Malone in 1976, Joni Loves Chachi from 1982 to 1983, Charles in Charge from 1984 to 1990, and Diagnosis Murder from 1993 to 1995. Baio became known for playing confident, youthful characters with charm and quick energy. For a time, he was one of the most recognizable teen stars on American television. After Happy Days, he continued acting and also worked as a television director. His career moved through sitcoms, guest roles, and reality television, keeping him connected to audiences for many years. In his personal life, Baio married Renee Sloan in 2007. They have a daughter, Bailey. Today, Scott Baio remains remembered as one of the young faces who helped carry the later years of Happy Days. His image is tied to teenage charm, television nostalgia, and a time when sitcom romance felt simple, bright, and easy to love. Patsy Weber was one of Richie's closest friends in Happy Days. He was cheerful, loyal, and sometimes wonderfully clueless. Patsy often brought a lighter energy to the group. He was the friend who could sing, make mistakes, and still somehow remain easy to like. He was not as cool as Fonzie. He was not as sharp as Richie. But he had a warmth that made him feel familiar. Patsy gave the series friendship, music, and a sweet kind of innocence. Through him, Happy Days showed the awkward, funny side of being young, when you want to look confident, but you are still learning how life really works. Anson Williams was born on September 25th, 1949, in Los Angeles, California. He became widely known for bringing Patsy Weber to life with warmth, humor, and a musical charm. Audiences remember him from projects such as Love American Style in 1972, The Paul Lynde Show in 1973, The Secret Life of the American Teenager in 2011, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch in 2002. After Happy Days, Williams built a strong second career behind the camera. He became a successful television director, working on many popular shows over the years. That career shift showed that his talent was not only in performing. He understood timing, story rhythm, and how to guide actors through emotional scenes. In his personal life, Williams was married to Lori Mahaffey, whom he met during his Happy Days years. They had one daughter before the marriage ended. He later married Jackie Gherkin, and they had 4 children together. In 2023, Williams married writer and real estate broker Sharon Maharey. He has also been active in business, public speaking, and community work. Today, Anson Williams is remembered not only as Potsy from Happy Days, but as someone who found a long life in entertainment after the spotlight of youth faded. His journey feels steady, practical, and quietly impressive. Ralph Mouth was the comic spark inside Richie's circle of friends. He was playful, dramatic, and always ready with a joke. Ralph wanted people to laugh. Sometimes his jokes worked, sometimes they failed, but he never stopped trying. That was part of his charm. He brought a bright, restless energy to the group. Beside Richie and Potsy, Ralph made teenage friendship feel louder, sillier, and more alive. He gave Happy Days its quick humor, its youthful chaos, and its reminder that growing up does not always have to be serious. Sometimes it can be awkward, loud, and very funny. Don Most was born on August 8, 1953 in Brooklyn, New York. He became famous for playing Ralph Mouth with quick timing, bright energy, and a natural sense of comedy. Audiences remember him from projects such as Leo and Larry in 1980, Dungeons and Dragons from 1983 to 1985, EDTV in 1999, and The Great Buck Howard in 2008. After Happy Days, Most continued acting in film and television. He also followed his love for music, building a career as a singer with a strong interest in jazz and swing. That side of his life showed a different kind of performer, not only the funny friend from television, but an entertainer with rhythm, voice, and stage presence. In his personal life, Don Most married Morgan Hart in 1982. They have 2 children. Today, Don Most is remembered as one of the familiar faces from the golden years of Happy Days. His career did not depend only on nostalgia. He kept performing, singing, and staying connected to audiences in his own way. Al Del Vecchio was the warm face behind the counter at Arnold's Drive-In. He was kind, awkward, and easy to feel sorry for in the sweetest way. Al was not flashy. He did not try to be cool, but he made the restaurant feel familiar, like a place where everyone belonged. His worried expressions, gentle voice, and slightly nervous energy gave the show a different kind of humor. He was the adult who often seemed overwhelmed by the younger crowd, but he still cared. Al gave Happy Days comfort, routine, and a soft, comic sadness. He reminded viewers that even the background places in our lives can become part of our memories. Al Molinaro was born on June 24, 1919, in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Before joining Happy Days, he was already known to television audiences for his work in comedy. Audiences remember him from projects such as Get Smart in 1969, The Odd Couple from 1970 to 1975, Joni Loves Chachi from 1982 to 1983, and The Family Man from 1990 to 1991. Molinaro had a gentle comic style. He did not need sharp lines or big movement to make people smile. His humor often came from timing, expression, and the feeling of a man trying his best while life moved too fast around him. In his personal life, Molinaro was married twice and had 1 son. After leaving regular acting, he lived more quietly and became closely connected with the nostalgia of classic television. Al Molinaro passed away in 2015 at the age of 96. His death brought sadness to fans who remembered him as one of television's comforting faces. Today, he is remembered as the kind of actor who made a small role feel warm, familiar, and full of life. He did not need dramatic scenes to leave a mark. With a gentle voice, a worried look, and simple human timing, Molinaro could make viewers feel as if they had known him for years. Arnold Takahashi was one of the memorable faces of Arnold's Drive-In. He was sharp, funny, and full of personality. Arnold was not on screen as much as some of the main characters, but when he appeared, he made the scene brighter. He had quick reactions, a strong presence, and a comic style that could make even a small moment stand out. As the owner of the drive-in, he helped make Arnold's feel like more than a restaurant. It became a meeting place, a hangout, a small home outside the Cunningham house. Arnold gave Happy Days flavor, humor, and a sense of community. He reminded viewers that every great show needs a place where its characters can come together. Pat Morita was born on June 28, 1932, in Ileton, California. Before becoming known around the world, he lived through a difficult childhood, including serious illness and time in a Japanese-American internment camp during World War II. He later found his way into comedy, television, and film. Audiences remember him from projects such as MASH in 1973 and 1974, The Karate Kid in 1984, The Karate Kid Part 2 in 1986, and The Mystery Files of Shelby Woo from 1996 to 1998. His performance as Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid earned him an Academy Award nomination. That role made him beloved to generations of viewers. Morita could be funny, calm, wise, and deeply emotional without losing his quiet charm. In his personal life, Morita experienced more than one marriage across his lifetime. He was the father of 3 daughters, and family remained an important part of his life beyond the screen. Pat Morita passed away in 2005 at the age of 73. His death left behind great sadness, but also a powerful legacy. Today, he is remembered not only as Arnold from Happy Days, but as the actor who gave the world one of cinema's most beloved mentors. His face, voice, and gentle humor still carry warmth many years after his passing. Happy Days was never only a sitcom about the 1950s. It was about family, friendship, first love, growing up, and the simple places where ordinary memories become unforgettable. The cast gave the show its warmth. They made viewers laugh, feel safe, and remember a version of life that seemed brighter, kinder, and easier to believe in. More than 50 years later, some of these stars are still with us. Some have passed away. But together, they left behind a television world that still feels full of music, laughter, and heart. Which Happy Days cast member do you remember the most? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Hollywood Star Memories for more journeys through classic shows, beloved films, and unforgettable stars.